Hmm. Once again, we are welcome back to this session of our live streaming. I want to congratulate, first of all those who participate in the 3 day spiritual white fast and prayer stroke meditation exercise. It was a wonderful experience, and I know people from their various residents participated, and I know for sure that things will change because we started receiving wonderful testimonies from, but I'm not here to share testimonies, uh, just to portray you are alluring somebody to participate. When you feel you have a problem and you want to participate, you should participate, because the truth of the matter is the path to self-realization and the path to God's kingdom, or literally to speak in the Christian palace, the path to heaven is an individual thing. So when somebody is trying to lure you and coerce you, you know that the person has a personal interest in it. So yes, it's just an activity you are doing for our own personal growth, to protect ourselves, our family, our future, and to also enable us grow spiritually. So if you so please and you want to participate in it, you can participate in it. If you don't want to, that is beautiful. But we have been receiving wonderful testimonies which we wouldn't share here. Yes. I once visited a church, and then it's a Coptic church at Achimota, and I was talking to Father. His name was Father. I've forgotten his name. Yeah, and then it was like, Mr. Mensah, here probably there are a lot of miracles that take place here more than any other church in this country, Ghana. But here we don't share our testimonies. It's the will of God, so we don't want to boast about it. Here we don't pray for miracle. When you enter into the holies of holies, and in the church they have built the holies of holies, the outer court, just like how Solomon's temple is and everything. It's that when we enter into the holies of holies and we do our prayers, people receive wonderful miracles, wonderful breakthroughs. We don't share testimonies here, and it is not allowed, and we don't advertise it, because it is not the working of any man. So likewise, when we do our spiritual exercises and they are wonderful testimonies, it's the working of God. We just give glory to the sublime intelligent creator in whom we live and move and have our being. So for all those that are participating in it, it's not easy myself, because it's been a very long time I did it. Now that I've started again, oh, it's a hell of time. You finish and you are so exhausted and you are so tired, and then you need time to recuperate. But the truth of the matter is that when you have that feeling, that means that the energy of the body is exhausted, so that the self can have its own field day. So I want to congratulate all those who participated in it, and for those who are unable to participate in it, maybe you should make time and then participate in it and see how best. On my personal self, I have wonderful testimonies, yes, and then I'm not here to share those testimonies, but in relation to the clarity of my intuition and everything, I realize it has been a little bit more clear. So thank you for participating in it. I also want to thank all those that are supporting us, those who came here physically to participate in the program. Yes, from time to time I'll be selecting people that are random to participate as and when I'm directed to do so. So for those who came here to participate in it, I just want to thank you for your time and your presence, and I want to thank you for enjoying the good meal we prepared here. May the Almighty God bless you bountifully and meet you at the point of your request. Today I want us to talk rather about one thing that I scarcely hear people talk about, and this we have been living with all our lives. And this has to do with what we call the cardinal points. Okay, cardinal points. And we know our planet, which is the planet Earth, has longitude and have latitudes. And I should have done presentation on this, but well, for the lack of time and convenience, so let's use what we have. So we know our planets have longitude and then we have latitude. Okay, now we have the North Pole, we have the South Pole, we have the East Pole, and then we have the West Pole. And these 4 poles is what we call the 4 cardinal points of our planet. And in between those 4 cardinal points of every 90 degree, okay, are sub-cardinal points and sub-cardinal points. So each cardinal point, each angle of a cardinal point, let's say between North Pole and West Pole, there's an angle of 90 degrees. Between West Pole to South Pole, there's an angle of 90 degrees. Between East Pole to South Pole, there's an angle of 90 degrees. And between West Pole to North Pole, there's an angle of 90 degrees. Putting all together, we have 360 degrees. Okay, so this is how we fundamentally operate in this physical dimension. So when you pick your compass, you notice that consistently your compass is facing the North Pole. Okay, consistently your compass is facing the North Pole. The question is, why is your compass consistently facing the North Pole? That's the question. I want to see if I can get a compass for you. Why is your compass consistently facing the North Pole? That's the question. That's the question you should ask yourself. Why is the compass facing the North Pole? So this is the picture of a compass, okay? And you can see that constantly the red is always facing the North Pole, which is the sun at the top here, is constantly facing the North Pole, okay? The picture at the top here, the red here, always constantly facing the North Pole. Why is it that constantly or consistently the compass is always facing the North Pole? That's a question you need to ask yourselves. What is it at the north that no matter which direction you turn yourself, your compass turns back to face the north? And it's so sometimes surprising that you speak to people who are graduates, some of them are master's degree holders, some of them are PhD degree holders, and they don't even know where the north is. They struggle to identify the north. And in all of the Bible, you notice that cardinal points are very important. Cardinal points are very, very important. Even in our physical life, cardinal points are important. So what is it that has to do with these cardinal points that make them very important in our lives? And these are things we need to understand about this world we live in. Because this world is founded on knowledge, and there are rules and regulations which is governing this world. So things does not happen by heart in this world. And if you understand the dynamics of this world, which the elite and most Western world, the leaders of the Western world understand the dynamics of this part of this planet, they are able to take charge and have control. Because Bible says that for lack of knowledge, my people perish. Knowledge about what? It's knowledge about yourself, knowledge about the creator, and knowledge about this universe. So realize that most these elite societies and civilized countries, they spend a lot of money doing what we call expedition to the animals kingdom, all those explorations and all those things, just to have more knowledge about this universe and how this universe functions. So the more we have more knowledge about this universe, the more we expand in terms of achievement, because we live our lives in alignment with the energies that control this universe. Because we are seeing that there are energies that control everything in this universe. There are energies responsible for the forest that makes things grow. There are energies responsible for the water. Because Have you ever seen somebody making seedlings, fingerlings, and putting them in the sea? But always the sea gets replenished. And my cousin, who used to be a fisherman, okay, says that when they are at sea, around the hours of between 1:32, several times they have seen that a bowl of brass containing fish is poured from the heavens into the sea. He said many times. And he said he have seen with his two eyes a huge hand from the skies with a brass of a basin, a brass of a bucket, a brass bucket, come and fetch the seawater and take it back into the sky. He said, brother, he said in Ghana, I mean, like, brother, I wouldn't lie to you, this is real time. So there are forces in this world, and you must understand the dynamics of this world. You are saying and okay. It is a now you live an effortless, struggle-free life. You must understand the dynamics of this life and how this life functions, because everything in this life is being controlled by an energy. There's an entity controlling everything in this life. And we must understand how these entities operate, because these entities were placed here to assist us. We do not have to demonize these entities. Rather, unfortunately, theology, I wouldn't want to use the word Christianity, but theology has indoctrinated us, or religion has indoctrinated us to demonize this energy. These energies and entities that has been placed there by the sublime intelligence to assist us on our earthly journey. And to have a stress-free earthly journey, you must understand that man is not on this earth alone. We are not on this earth alone. We are here with other beings and with other entities. And the presence and the relevance of these beings and these entities is to serve us and to aid us in our journey on earth. Because someday I will talk about how we came to the planet Earth per my own gospel. Genesis wrote about it, the Quran wrote about it, Bible wrote about it, Quran also wrote about it. But I'm going to tell you the Genesis, how humans came to inhabit this planet Earth by my own inner knowledge and by my own inner revelation, out of my meditation, how we got to this dimension. Because before, we were not having this physical body. Before, humans were not having dense body of matter. Before, that's why I say we were living with our Father in glory. So before, we live with a glorified body, not this dense, corrupt physical body, mortal physical body. So we have always been in the state of immortality, living with a glorious body, and something happened, and we begin to degrade our energy in order to assume this dense physical body, just to have knowledge of this dimension. So I will take time and we'll talk about that later on. So when we are on earth, or when we have migrated from the dimension where we used to be into this dimension too has its own protocols. And as long as we are in this dimension, we must live by the protocols of this dimension. And any entity and any being that comes to this dimension must live by the dictates and the rules and regulations and the protocols of this dimension, including the extraterrestrials and including the angelic beings. So today, I want us to study the 4 cardinal points and how they can be beneficial to humanity. The 4 cardinal points and how you can use it to your benefit. So you must know the north, the south, the east, the west. What is derived from what is the purpose of the north? What is the purpose of the south? What is the purpose of the east? And what is the purpose of the west? And where are you standing as a person? And how, per your geographical location, how do you benefit from these 4 cardinal points, including its sub-cardinal points? Because between the various cardinal points with north, south, east, and west, we have northeast, northwest, southeast, and all those things. Okay, those are sub-cardinal points when you study, how do you call it, bearings. Okay, when you study bearings at school, we're taught all these things, and we're taught all these things without any understanding of what actually it means. Not only just for navigation, but every angle that you stand and you face, there's a particular entity you are connecting to. Every angle that you face or every direction that you take, there's a particular entity that resonates in that direction. And you must know that entity. Sometimes you go to the park and you see people praying, and they'll be moving at haphazard directions, and they expect to have results. Well, if you are moving in a clockwise direction, there are entities that you connect, and you are moving in an anti-clockwise direction, there are entities that you connect to. When you are working or you are praying on a living entity or a living being, like a human being or an animal or whatever it is, you don't move anti-clockwise. You have to move in a clockwise direction because of the life force that is in that entity. But if you are praying over a house, over a car or something, you don't move a clockwise direction, but you are supposed to move in an anti-clockwise direction because it's a non-living entity. Well, to every direction you are moving towards determines which energy you align yourself with. Into obi aba no se yembo mpae won kan wa o bompae won kan wa na o bompae na o twa ne kan no ehia o bompae na o clockwise direction. It is wrong. You are putting the person's car in jeopardy. Likewise, obi osofa ba ofi and obi abofi no so be bompae e ofi or bompae e twa ofi no ehia na o clockwise direction, and he is messing up your home. But the house is not a living thing, so you have to go anti-clockwise. So be down now. Oh, bompire. In terms, I'm talking from a Christian perspective because I come from a Christian background. Obi abana ya bonu dua na o dane dua na ye wo direction na ye bompire ne de ko. Na obi abana o hira no obi awoko tukwan awoko abrochi your friend is o ko school na bibi sta ne kwan bi na mo bompire na mo twa ne wo chane bobo ye wo direction na ese mpae no ko. Inti ababu mo na ye wo no ye nya de keke. You have to understand the dynamics of this universe and just live by the dynamics of this universe. You realize that things happen without struggles and happens effortlessly. See which direction are oma edani facing. Yensi dan keke. Keke. So don't make me see me create it be brave. Argentina. A friend is saying satellite, satellite dish. Add satellite dish in facing south. Satellite dish added in facing south. And now from facing north. But satellite dish be fix it. It's either going to face the east or it's going to face the west. Argentina. That's what Bible says, that for lack of knowledge my people perish. And religion dormant because you don't ask questioning religions. In religion, you are not supposed to research to know more facts and figures and have knowledge. So religion takes your ability to reason and to understand the mystics of this kingdom, which is the earth kingdom. Because the essence of religion is to control people. So when you become knowledgeable, how do they control you? So they first have to take away your ability to reason and to be knowledgeable from you, and then they can indoctrinate you to be what they want you to be. And if you can control what the man thinks, or what a man thinks, or what a person thinks, you don't need 4 concrete walls to put him in a prison. Say, obey me controlling how a person thinks, only the 4 concrete walls, okay? So then be a prison. Because you tell him sit, he will sit. You tell him stand, he will stand. You tell him go, go. You tell him come, he will not ask you why. And that is what religion does to us. It takes our ability of knowingness. The power of knowingness, religion takes it from us. It doesn't matter what religion it is. And I don't want to mention specifically, but all religions takes the ability to be aware, to be knowledgeable, and to be self-recognized, self-dependent from you. And that is the only way they can control you. And it percolates down to politics, percolates down to school. Most schools, if you go, you have to reproduce what the teacher teaches you. If you don't reproduce what the teacher teaches you, you are wrong. And children who are gifted, who go the extra mile, are always seen as the recalcitrant and stubborn kids in the class. Because he will ask questions which is out of the syllabus. And they try to keep all of us in the box. And when you begin to experience realization and knowledge begin to come to you, and you begin to develop, they say that you are now thinking out of the box. That means you are getting out of their metric system of control. And we need knowledge in order to survive and to live comfortably in this life. But for them to be able to control your life and to make use of your energy and to siphon your energy to their benefit, they must do everything to keep you ignorant. You and I. And unfortunately, we are giving them the opportunity to keep us ignorant. That's what the Bible says, that for lack of knowledge. That means your inability to access the knowledge, even though it is there. Because at the moment they use the word lack, that means it is available, but it is peculiar to your inability to access the availability of it. So lack of knowledge, in the abundance of knowledge, you are unable to access it, so you lack it. It didn't say for the absence of knowledge, that means knowledge does not exist. Apostle, I hope you understand. When they say in the absence of knowledge, my people perish, that means that knowledge does not exist. That you can't find it. But when they say for lack of knowledge, that means that knowledge exists, you are lacking it. That's why they say that ignorance is not an excuse. So it is imperative upon us as people to be able to take up the bulls by their horns and then embark on our own search to understand the mysteries of this kingdom we call earth. Well, the earth itself is a kingdom, and we are here because we wanted to have knowledge of this kingdom. That's the only reason why we are here, is to have a fair knowledge about this kingdom, because we lived in a different dimension of reality before we incarnated to take birth into this dimension, to help this dimension and to have acquired knowledge in this dimension. And that is the only reason why some teachers call this earth a school because we are here to acquire knowledge. So one of the things we need to know about this earth is about the cardinal points. And when they use the word cardinal, what does it mean? But because I don't think it is by joke or by accident or by play that they had to use cardinal. So I will Google the word cardinal and let's see the meaning. What is the meaning of the word cardinal? And we all understand it, but I just want us to find the meaning. So it wouldn't sound like. In the adjective phrase, or the adjective usage of the word cardinal means of the greatest importance. Of the greatest importance, fundamental. So it is something you have to know. It is the greatest importance, it's of the greatest importance, and it is fundamental. Fundamental simply means that everybody should know. And when you know this, what you call the fundamental, it's going to be the greatest thing because it is of great importance. It didn't even use it's of great importance, it of the greatest importance. So you realize that the elite did not use the word cardinal points just for using sake. They understood why they used the word cardinal points. That means a knowledge which has to be fundamental, yet it is of the greatest importance to humanity. But how do you understand the cardinal points? All you know is what? North is there, south is here, west is there, east is there. That's all. What else do you know about cardinal points? You don't know anything. We don't know anything about cardinal points. But they are telling you that anytime you use the word cardinal to describe something, it means that it is a fundamental thing that everybody should know, yet it is of the greatest importance. So you live in a world that you don't understand the fundamentalism of this world, and you don't know its greatest importance. So you see the kind of life we are living as a people. We don't even understand the world we live in. We don't understand the dynamics of this world. We don't even know the law that governs this space. Now, sorry, I also hear spirituality. Even the physical world, Jesus said, physical things, and you want to go to a dimension that you can see. Because what you don't understand is that this physical dimension is the density of the non-physical world. And to be able to understand the dynamics of the non-physical world properly, you must have very good knowledge about this physical dimension. It's like somebody saying that he's doing spirituality, so he doesn't take good care of this body because this body. So a lot of spiritual groups and other religious organizations that this body is nothing. But this body cannot be nothing. Because this body came out of nothingness. So it can never be nothing. It is part of nothingness, which is God. Because before this body was formed through metamorphosis of the fetus in the womb, it's out of nothing. It's light. And it is the same light that went through different stages and different levels of density to naturally form what you have. So you can never downplay this physical body. And you will be punished for not treating this physical body well. When you abuse this physical body through drinking, through drugs and whatever it is, you would be severely punished. That is a different one. Before then, your mission and whatever things that come to it will go with it. That is why you have no right to commit suicide. But this physical body is the dense reflection of the non-physical formlessness. And to be able to operate in a balance, you must understand the dynamics of this physical body and then the dynamics of the non-physical body. And likewise, to be able to function well as a human being, you must understand the dynamics of this physical world and the dynamics of the non-physical world. Now we have neglected this physical world so well, so much so that we want to go to a place called heaven. Well, even this physical world, you cannot manage it. Meanwhile, the Bible said that what does the Lord Prayer says? The kingdom of God, is it that kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven. So that means the earth is the representation of the heavens, and we can only relate to the heavens through the earth laws. So if you want to relate to the heavens, you must understand the dynamics of the earth, because it is as above, what, so below. As in the invisible dimension, so comes to what? To the visible dimension. So you see that the premise of our spirituality, it's even wrong. Also, yes, spirituality. I have a lot of spiritual brothers. If you tell them that face north and do prayer, he doesn't know where the north is. Always my friend asks me, Charlie, how you can just, anywhere you stand, you know where the north is. I say yes, because you build a compass in your mind. A lot of people, they don't know where the west is, they don't know where the south is. So when you are praying, I tell you, face east to do this, face north to do this, face that, you don't know. So you must understand the cardinal, the most greatest, important, but fundamental points of this world. That is the cardinal. When they say the cardinal point, the most greatest, important, yet the fundamental points of this world or this earth. You must understand it. So the topic is understanding the 4 cardinal points and how they can benefit you, or they can benefit us, or they can benefit humanity. So you must know the 4 cardinal points and what it bestows on our planet. You must know the 4 cardinal points and what it bestows on our planet. So then what you are looking for, you direct the energy to that planet, because that part of the planet is controlled by a particular energy. And that energy that controls that aspect of the planet bestows certain grace upon our planet. So if you are in a situation and you want the grace of that energy, you need to connect to that dimension. Ask yourself, why is it that most of all the huge basilicas in this world, okay, faces the east? Have you noticed that? All the huge basilicas and all the huge mosques in this world faces the east. What, from the Catholic to the monasteries to the Presby buildings to the Anglican buildings, all the biggest auditorium worships of the religious, why do they face the east? Why? And David said that I will lift up my eyes unto Mount Zion, isn't it? For whence does my help cometh? And when you go to the Mount Zion, the mountain they call Zion, was in the east. You get the whole thing. So you see how they coded it in the Bible. So David said when he is praying, he will raise his eyes to the east. From that is where his help cometh from. Because we all know that the only one single thing that gives life to our planet Earth is what? The sun, isn't it? And the sun rises from where? From the east. When you are sleeping in your room, where does your head face? Oh, da. Uti etre. You see, we wake up in the morning, every day you go, Balok is following you. Balok is following you at workplaces. Because of baby, I will do teacher also all that. And how do you know? Where does your bed, where does your feet faces in your room? All these things, these are natural laws. There is nothing you can do about it. This is how it was designed by the sublime intelligence. Because every cardinal point and what it is transmitting to our earth space O dan door in fa na efesi. What's he dying? If you are boy, you want to remember them. God, the sun that gives life and energy to the planet, say, at the chair, ubi okati say, you want to remember them. Notice abofo. What done up person they position the bed in such a way that when you swap the curtain open, sun rays comes into the room. They understand the dynamics of this world. Now just they know how to place what and where to take what and bring what, so that they always align to the forces that blesses this universe and blesses humanity. But your energies were why you don't share abrabum so but you must work according to the laws that the creator has given to these energies. And once you form alignment, or you fall in alignment with the laws that the creator has given to these energies, they bestow that grace and they bestow that blessings on all who aligns. Have you ever opened your sink before? Ask yourself which direction if the water is spinning out of your sink, which direction does it flow? Does it flow clockwise or it flows anti-clockwise? It is water. Hello, Apostle. It is water. But why do you want to open the sink? It flows at a particular direction. Always it uses that direction to flow. It never changes the direction by which it drains out of your sink. I don't know if I'm making sense. When you open your tap and your sink basin is filled with water, if it is water moving at random, it should be able to change its direction at random. But every single day for the next 365 days, when you fill your sink with water, when it is draining out, it drains out at one direction. And I learned that in the whole of the world, okay? I learned that, so if I'm not mistaken, I learned that in the whole of it is only Israel and Ghana that water drains clockwise from the sink. All other places it drains anti-clockwise. All other places in the world it drains anti-clockwise. It's only Ghana that drains clockwise. I read it in a book and I did the experiment, but I've not been to Israel before, so I cannot affirm. I've not been to it. That's why I say it is alleged. But the one who told me has been to Israel before, stayed in Israel for 14 years plus, and then he is a Ghanaian. But my question is not with whether Israel or not Israel. My question is that why is it that when you open the tap in your house, every day you want to drain your sink, it goes in a particular direction and it doesn't change the direction? That means to me being a control there, being a control, the money flow in the same direction. Because if the water is going out on its own, today it will be going this way, tomorrow it will be going this way, tomorrow it can be bubbling straight. You get it? But at every given point in time, it spins towards one direction. It spins towards one direction. Forget about what religion is telling you. We are talking about spirituality. We are talking about divine knowledge. Forget about religion. Religion hasn't got answers. Even science come here research, they don't have much answers. Spirituality has a lot of answers waiting for questions. And religion and spirituality are having a lot of questions looking for answers. And you must understand when you understand I didn't know what you are saying, said life becomes fun. And I brought the elite and then no BT. The elite, no, it's knowledge. You shall have knowledge of the truth, and that knowledge will set you free. And then I'm a video B. And there's this guy, I think they call him Pastor Gideon or something like that. And he was playing a tape that one Pastor Obed said, and another one that what do you call him? The end time ministry man, what's his name? Pastor. Oh, this popular man of God at Odoko Buzia rather. I forgot, he's a very popular man of God, also said, and what Otabe said. And these people were trying to aspire that, fine, you burn incense, you use candles and all those things. And this Pastor Obed, out of ignorance, saying that it is not theology, it's not in the New Testament, it is not theology, it's not doctrine of the New Testament. So you cannot. And I look at how ignorant this so-called pastor is. No. Not Rosanna, it's at Buzia. This controversial man of God today, Osubempa, Pastor Osubempa. And they were trying to address some of the things Pastor Otabe said, because Pastor Otabe is saying that whatever it is, all prophets, most prophets are quack and all those things, and they're trying to, and this guy was trying to analyze what they were saying, and then he's trying to use Bible justice. And I saw this guy, this Pastor Gideon guy, is absolutely ignorant to the core. I don't talk about people, and you know my station, I don't talk about people, but I listen to and I say, wow, how can this guy come and have a social media handle and propel gross ignorance, display gross ignorance? And his basis is that because it is not documented in the New Testament, and it is not a New Testament theology, so it is cannot be. I said, what kind of gross ignorance display is this? Meanwhile, the New Testament told that there are so many things that Jesus did that they didn't write it. And then one count Bible no more. There are so many things that Jesus did that was not written. That means that the New Testament is telling you that nyama bebe wo mo ye fi New Testament no mu. And so I don't engage in myself this social banter, but for this guy alone, I would have want to have one-on-one engagement with him. Has he heard of the word Hanukkah festival? It is an 8-day candle burning ritual what the Jews did, and Jesus participated in it. Is it not the same Bible that Jesus Christ spat on the soil, mixed it with the clay, and put it in the eye of the person to go and wash for blindness? Isn't the same Jesus Christ who healed from somebody to receive his sight? Why is that this time around he didn't pray, but he spat on the ground, mixed it in the soil with the saliva, and asked the person, said, "Then oh yeah, I'm back and say, and yes, scripture and say, so I send a message that there's a clear difference between spirituality and theology and doctrines. What he is talking about is theology and doctrines, and that is enslavement. His mind has been enslaved. I am not saying these prophets are authentic. That's not my point. I don't judge. But I'm trying to talk about the knowledge they are trying to profess. That, well, fine, probably they could be, they have the reasons why they are saying the prophets are quack. It's not my place to judge, because I am not God. And Bible says in the book of Matthew 7 that thou shalt not judge. So we don't practice judgmentalism, but we look at the authenticity of knowledge. Thou shalt not judge does not necessarily mean thou shalt not criticize when things are wrong. But when you say 90%, 95% of prophets are quack, that is judgmental. But if you say that 95% of what the prophets are doing is not right, that is criticism. And it's not in the place of any human being to judge people. That one on who on the Bible say, the Bible, Jesus said, thou shalt not judge. So you have no right to call somebody a quack. But you have a right to tell them, no, you are ignorant. What you are saying is not right, because you are dealing with the knowledge but not the personality. But criticism deals with knowledge, it doesn't deal with personality. It deals with actions, what person is doing, but not the totality of the person's persona. So there are things, what am I saying? I'm speaking to the effect that there are things in this life who this Pastor Gideon has no idea about. So the knowledge is professing that as long as it's not in theology and it's not a Christian doctrine, it cannot be practiced. Who told you? Who wrote the Christian doctrines? The doctrinal gospels, who wrote them? I don't want to go into that place because I was watching this afternoon. I was so I hate information that intends to misinform people. He needs to go back to school and learn holistic spirituality. Now Jesus, may Kanyama Jesus, yeah, you'll be shocked. Why? And the Bible, 18 years of Jesus' life is not recorded in the Bible. 18 years, it's not recorded in the Bible. Do you know what he was doing? They wrote age 1 to age 12, and they take away from age 12 to age 30 years, which is 18 years, and they brought the 30 years to age 33 years. The 18 years, what was he doing? So what you don't know, don't condemn. If it doesn't sit well with what you think, leave it. I can't cry. The man you are defending, if I'm supposed to give you, don't let go there. Do you know what they have done before they got into where they are? They will not tell you that the secret of great men is never made public. I'm telling you today, the secret of great men is never made public. It is the glorious achievement that you see. So there are secrets in this life. There is a tide in the affairs of men, taken at a goal leads to great fortune, omitted all the voyage of human life is bound in shallows and in misery. What great men did and read to become great, they will never tell you. Because they don't want you to get there. And you are here saying that it's not theologian doctrine and Christian doctrine, theologian doctrine, excuse my language. You don't know what is going on. And you are we are ignorant. When they will, as I say, do you understand the energies that control this life? You know what that was, sorry. You don't even understand how you sleep. The modus operandi for you sleeping and wake up, you don't even know it. Also, how can theology? What is theology? Theology was written by your fellow man. It was enshrined by elite society to control the way you think, to take away your power from you. If you don't know, I'm telling you today, theology doesn't come from God. It comes from two words, theo and logy. God never gave theology. It was man who created theology. So if you base your knowledge on theology, you are basing your knowledge on man's intellectual presentation of what he thinks God is. And what is doctrine? Doctrine is how one wants another person to behave. God never gave doctrines. So if your foundation for following Christianity is because of theology and doctrine, that means that you have no even right to come to social media and talk about Bible, talk about spirituality. You need to develop your personality. Because nyamawo, you are saying, nyamawa brabomu. And we need to understand the dynamics of this world. We need to understand the dynamics of this world. Oh, sorry, you are condemning Bible, but meanwhile, Bible now, you are condemning burning of candle. Meanwhile, in Crawford, no much Bible, Roman Empire, no much Bible, the government, almost no more burn, almost candle. Oh, sorry, you are speaking against burning of incense. Meanwhile, Moses now, praising on or she incense. And Nyamina Kachan said they should do it for all generations. So the fact that it wasn't mentioned in the New Testament, why would they have to mention something in the Old Testament and come and re-mention it again in the New Testament? It doesn't make sense. It's tautology. So common sense should let you think. I've written something in chapter 1, and I come to chapter 2, I'm writing the same thing in chapter 2. I come to chapter 3, I'm writing the same. You call it repetition. Do this and do it for all generations to come. Watch about holy anointing oil. Watch about incense. Watch about holy water. Watch about when. So why would he come to the New Testament, which is a continuation of the Old Testament, and write about the same thing that he has written about already? Watch out, I know that he has to give you the fulfillment. It's a complete thing. One is 1+1 I was school, no, or doing class 1 or do university, so that you're changing the same 1+1. So that idea that any New Testament into Old Testament, and I'm only Old Testament because Old Testament is not part of the Bible. You want to say the Old Testament is not the word of God. So we say New Testament, man, yeah. And that is the doctrine. That is the Western doctrine. It is a unti abrabosia. You struggle for nothing. What about time? Oh, you use social media. Social media. When you send a social media by. Also, what's your camera? What's away? And you are criticizing baby awkward, baby busosum in free name. Now social media only send a buy. Only back no invented social media. Only who more contact on social. What chance who use so? So let us, let us be a little bit awakened. Enjoy all these things now. Yeah, the battle of Armageddon between good and evil. And let's look for authentic knowledge, spirituality. I've gone a little bit away. Let me come back to the track. Let's should come back to the track. So we are looking at the 4 cardinal points of this universe, of this planet, and the things that they bestow, the grace and the blessing they bestow upon us. So we are first going to look at the north. I'm going to start with the north. So, as I sit here, this is my north. Okay? From where I sit, this is my north. Okay? So, the North Pole is controlled by the energy we call the earth element. So, when you're an earth element, your energy comes from the north. So, if you're an earth element, and you are doing any spiritual exercise, apart from a specific exercise, it's a general exercise, your energy is aligned towards the north. I guess today we are going to something much more detailed, and it may sound new to people, but that's what it is. So the earth element, your energy is aligned towards the north. Now, the energy that controls, or the celestial energy that controls that dimension, the North Pole, is what we call Uriel. It's what we call Uriel. It's called Uriel, Angel Uriel. Okay, and the day for that dimension is Friday. Now, these are the attributes that the energy that controls. There are a lot of things, but I won't go into all the details right now. I'm just giving you the general overview. Then we take time and take it one after the other. Treat the elements that controls there. For instance, with the north, you have the norms, which controls the earth element that operates from that dimension. You understand? And they are being controlled by the gods and all those. So we are not going to that dimension. So that when you are praying, you know how to pray, and you pray and you do things in alignment. So I said the North Pole, or the North Cardinal Point, is where the earth element energy aligns, and is controlled by the celestial being that has been called the celestial energy that has been given the identity called Uriel. And this energy aligns more towards the Friday, okay, which is more towards the Venus energy. And these are the attributes that it bestows on our planet. 1, prosperity. 2, wealth creation. 3, stability and security, in terms of financial stability and family stability. It also governs mining. It governs traveling. It governs construction. It bestows the grace of agribusiness. It bestows fertility. These are things that are the grace that it bestows on our planets. So if you are in alignment with this planet, these are the things that you can derive, the energy that you can derive from that planet. And when you are in search of all some of these attributes, you can, and you are praying, you must face that side. Now we'll come to how do you pray to connect to these energies. Well, the kind of prayer you connect to the north is the different kind of prayer you connect to the south, the different prayer you connect to the east, and all those things, how you pray and all those things in order to bestow that energy into that dimension. Let me see. You can read the scripture. I have some scriptures here. Read them. Revelations chapter 7. Revelations chapter 7, verse 1. Revelations chapter 7, verse 1. Revelation chapter 7. It said, "And I saw four angels standing at the four corners of the earth." The four corners of the earth. Holding back the four winds from blowing. You see, so they are the four corners of the earth. So there's always a vantage point where energies are standing or energies are operating from within this earth dimension. And he said, "And I saw another angel," verse 2, "and I saw another angel coming from the east, carrying the great seal of the living God. And he shouted out to those angels, to those four angels who had been given the power to enjoy the earth and sea." So these celestial, and that's what I'm saying, that I'm reading this one for you to know that in relation to the angels that control the cardinals that operates from the four cardinal points of the earth. So there's a reference from the Bible that John the Revelator, in one of his revelations, saw that there are angels that operate from different cardinal points on different points of the earth to carry out certain responsibilities. And when they are supposed to carry out certain functions, there's a particular corner or cardinal of the point that they operate from. And what they are supposed to do will come from a different cardinal point. So that is what it is. Now, when you take our Bible to Daniel, when you take our Bible to Daniel, the book of Daniel, when you take our Bible to the book of Daniel, chapter 7, Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 7, verse 2. It says that, and in my dream I saw a great storm on a mighty ocean, with strong wind blowing from every direction. Then four huge animals came up out of the sea, the water, each different from each other. The first was like a lion, but had the eagle wings and watched over the distance. The second animal was like a bear. So the second animal was like a bear. The third animal looked like a leopard. So you take them one, so you see them. The third looks like a leopard, and the fourth animal rose out of the ocean, too dreadful to describe and incredible to strong. So it's talking about the four different animals. And when you go to Revelation, it talks about the animal with four faces, talking about the four elements, the energies that control the four elements. In the book of Revelation. Let's also go to Matthew chapter 24 verses 31. And I shall send forth my angel, and I shall send forth my angels with the sound of a mighty trumpet blast, and they shall gather from my chosen one from the farthest end of the earth and heaven. So these energies are sent into our dimension, and when they are coming to our dimension to do any exercise, they come from different cardinal points. They come from different cardinal points. And whether you believe it or not, these entities come, these energies we call angels or whatever it is, guidance spirits or whatever it is, they come to our dimension at certain points of the day, certain hours of the day to carry out responsibility. And they come with specific grace bestowed upon them. They come with specific grace bestowed upon them. So when I am giving you the various cardinal points and the angels that operate from that cardinal point and what they bestow upon the planet Earth, I just read this reference for you to know that these beings come from different corners of the earth, and they come with specific assignment to bestow certain grace or bestow certain activity or certain reward or certain recompense or certain karmic retribution on our earth plane. And the energy that constitutes the dimension of the North Pole is 12%. It's only 12%. So that is the general thing about the North Pole, or the North Cardinal Point. The North Cardinal Point it harnesses the earth element energy. The angel that operates from that dimension is Angel Uriel, and there's a way you conjure them and pray and then seek assistance from them. And it grants or bestow prosperity. When I say prosper, I mean material prosperity. It bestows wealth creation. It bestows stability, security in terms of family and finances. It also bestows in charge of mining, any earth activity, mining, construction, agriculture, agro businesses, and all those things. This energy controls all this space. The element that works, the energy of the element that works now is what we call the norms. So you need to understand that element, and their energy constitutes 12% of. Their energy constitutes 12% of. The energy constitutes 12% of the energy space within the Earth dimension. Now, we go to the next one, which is, we treated the North. The next one, which is the South. So I'm taking the general lesson. We're going to go through again. We are going to talk about the colors and all those things and how to pray. So say, oh no, let's say, yeah, in terms of your business, in terms of mining, in terms of agri, anything that has to do with wealth creation and material prosperity, you channel your energy towards the north. Into oh bonfire, now open wealth creation, face east. Because east too are there, Oma. So in any good church that you go, say osofo nim and ote abodi ase, depending on the prayer topic, and na baby obema mo face. Say with the news now. It's a news, eh? Knowledge. Knowledge is what you need. Knowledge is what you need. Any good church you go, it's a prayer or soften no in there. In pie beer mobile and baby am face. Because when you face a place, that means you channel your energy, your attention towards the place. The second cardinal point you are going to take is the F cardinal point. Oh, sorry, the south cardinal point, which the F is for the north. So we have treated the north in brief. The next cardinal point you are going to take is the south. That is the south cardinal point. And the south cardinal point is controlled by the fire energy. It's controlled by the fire energy. It's controlled by the fire energy. And this fire energy constitutes 6% of the energy that runs the whole earth space. The earth, which is the north, constitutes 12%. The fire constitutes 6%. Now, the energy, the celestial being that controls or works through the south dimension is the celestial being we call Angel Michael. Angel Michael. Some people call it Michael, but the spiritual pronunciation is Michael. And the day which is attributed to that dimension is the day Sunday. That's the Gregorian identity of that day. We call the Sunday. Now, these are the attributes that it bestows, or the grace that it bestows on us or on our planet. And that grace that it bestows on our planet, if you are in need of that, or you want to have access to that grace, then when you are praying, you have to face the east. So, sorry, you have to face the south. I'm talking about the south, which is the fire element. So it bestows healing, creativity, passion, protection, power. These are the things. It bestows strength. So these are the things that fire energy actually, it deals with power. That's why most people controlled by the fire element energy, they are most of them going to electronics, engineering, how do you call it, electrical engineering, because these are all professions that are influenced by the fire energy. They go into mechanics. You get the whole thing. Yes, these are some of them going to the military. These are all energies that are governed by the fire vibration. And I say it constitutes 6%. It constitutes 6%. And the angel that controls that dimension is the angel we call Michael. And he rules Sunday. And the day that aligns with it is Sunday. And the spirit entity that works, or the let's say the workers of the field, are the salamanders. The workers of the field are the salamanders. So how do you contact all these beings and all those things and then deal with those entities? So if you are there, you are looking for healing, you are looking for creativity, you are looking for passion, you are dealing for protection, guidance, anything which is fire branded, when you are praying, you face the south. Do I have to continue all the time? Please check the time. So basically, this is the first two. Okay, I will continue this live session with the next two. That's nice there with the east and then the west. I've done the north and the south. I've done the east and the west. The relevance of this is to make you informed on how to do certain things and where to get certain things. Because let's say oil uncover region, because crude oil no western region. Now crude oil, I don't know, do we need western region? Unya crude oil. So as soon as I fresh fish at top, coastal fish, but fresh fish every at all. Now the name nothing region unsa enka, because of a poe ni ho. Fresh fish at all, fresh apple fish ayechi wapuma. I say we do need then south, or so we need a poano. So sana, the word has been designed. Bibia to be as its cardinal point. Anything you are looking for has its cardinal point that you have to contact, and the energy that controls that cardinal point. So once you can identify and know the cardinal point that produces or bestows what grace onto the planet, and what energy controls that cardinal point, then you seek the knowledge on how to contact that energy. When I say contact, and yes, over friend, I'm number physically. That's on AM Bible. There's no danger to this. It's just request, petition. Even when you're doing mental concentration, you direct your into mental advancement, mental concentration, and it could be about money. I can be facing the south, but my mind goes to the north. Even Apostle, remember we went to a place and I think we went to see the guy that has planted cassava. And I told you that cassava is an earth element plant crop. So it needs a cassava needs to face south, not the church is south. The cassava is an earth element plant. It is so do cassava. I say if it's north. Into nipa 2 be do cassava. Bako they need their facing north, and bako they need their facing south or east. You be tunu na they need their cassava need to facing north and ebebo. Chain need their facing south, because or pull energy from the source, which is an earth element, and a cassava so a tuber plant into it draws the right energy. Because it governs agriculture. The elements there governs, they rule over agriculture and see to the prosperity of any agricultural activity or any agricultural business. You get the whole thing. So these are things that you need to know and you need to apply them. And when this elite civil service abrofo omunima omudidi enim kan enye hwe abrofo empire chain before your bompire crash abrofo ko China phone him Chinese people China ho as every given time say mihuna or your water element into woman now the watermelon and pineapple or that ko offering no they see obepe in so river not that ko see hu. People don't understand, but I knew he was a water element, so he's paying obeisance to the water element. Oh, sorry, we were catching us saying New Testament and he said, oh, yeah. There's something wrong. There's something wrong. You are wow, saying New Testament, also now would be at you, una utran to you, una uyanyama and yet you be. And I also now want you to be na nkrofo na almost see yencho New Testament omu use no mu invent nyama na wa o see enye no una we first person kwa ba kokoto ye the new iPhone no ba una we first o dimi ka kokoto kwan so omu nya de fa iPhone, do you know it? What's your typing? Cordless typing on my friend, pin microphone say then. Microphone no mo de bo ase no. What should be and connect it unim se no mo ye. And so what you know kase mu na o kan de ya wo de. Then you enjoy New Testament. Typing now you should show New Testament. I was really pissed this morning when I was listening to that guy. But I had to be patient to listen because it was a pertinent, very important issue that I wanted to delve down into it and find what actually is the issue. Typing out the about natural typing on New Testament. I know you so guys in New Testament in your own use. I told New Testament say obey social media. Bibia na ya told New Testament today and show New Testament mo a on use on ye. Anya sa. iPhone now use New Testament. And phone now use New Testament. And so use. So you see, that's how we are sick as a people. And anybody who knows that Dr. Gideon, you can forward this message to me. That shows how sick we are in the head. I've been quite now who you know. Your New Testament. I was really pissed listening to this guy, but I had to exercise patience to listen to him. I just want to understand his rationale. Caesarean. Moko hospital na your so wife into me when I hear an operation Caesarean na year ba no. Ya show New Testament. These are all activities that men are doing. Are they recorded in the New Testament? Now there actual Old Testament me and the prophet of who did it, you know. And then ya musi enye. And so sorry, I would tight any Old Testament scripture. First fruit any Old Testament scripture. I don't know what is wrong with these people. I just don't know what is wrong with these people. One Bible. Wait, see, one Bible, one will discriminate against the same Bible. You are discriminating the New Testament against the Old Testament. Meanwhile, we read the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 19. I say, I came not to. Matthew chapter. Matthew chapter 5, verse 17. He said that, do not misunderstand. This is Jesus talking. Or say, do not misunderstand why I have come. And these people are misunderstanding why Jesus came. It isn't to cancel the laws of Moses. This is Jesus Christ's words in red. Anytime I read about Bible say I told this in Toronto a red color, I'm say yes I say do not misunderstand why I have come. It isn't to cancel the law of Moses and the warnings of the prophet. It said no, I have come to fulfill them. Into Moses no work. Moses actually said Yankupon say on she incest. On your holy anointing oil after the act of the apocatary. On your holy water. On your way. And I used to now wouldn't it so don't misunderstand me. Say ba me ba man ba me trust and me ba say me share the man. And I also to see New Testament doctrine which was written by Paul. Paul Yesu ni Moses. Why not wait in the casa? Oh, sometimes when I hear these things, it makes me a little bit emotional. Because I hate when divine souls are being misled out of ignorance. And they use ignorance as an authentic knowledge and speak about it so well that you think that that is the truth. Who nim chi Yesu? Yesu no mo ana say, don't mean that means he's telling you that people will misunderstand his coming. And this is what theology has done. He has misrepresented Jesus. He has misrepresented the Christ and the message it carries. Masa obi catch us say incense shit, candle, so holy water yusu. If the person, I'm telling you, the person is ignorant. I admit the fact that there were fake ones who are free or body, and yet the divine ones, because there's that imitation by the dark kingdom. I don't dispute it, but you cannot just blatantly generalize all of them. Because divine ones know. So Moses saw incense. And now who and a buffalo two on our own son says, who and a buffalo have a fight out you cry their call. Moses or she incense, every morning she incense, almost all candle. You see Moses who are now Satan up so find a crown. You see Michael Bible because the Lord will cannot find the coin. How can you tell me say just generalizing say also incense, also candle is demonic? Don't say what you don't know. The can't just Pastor Gideon. No, if in social media and come about, you know, this thing I have never done it before, but I think this thing has to be rectified. And if anybody knows, he can text him and send him a message and says that I want to be on his show to explain things because he does not understand. And these are the kind of people that are misleading the children of God into poverty. And what I saw them. See, but some comfort do not almost no other spirits. So no one be sorry them with you. No, what people no or can't hear any day. Almost no more cosa I didn't more. And I forgot. I didn't even want to say Pastor Gideon something. Now more teachers now we know. Only nyamo if you have to tell you, some of them we know their history, some of them we know their secret. But can I yanka? I'm telling you today, some of them we know, some of them in the spiritual way, they mark your church or mumu secret places. No matter I say Bible so some of them I can tell you some of the things they have done. Some of the barbaric acts they have committed in secret because of money, fame, and power, and some of that cover so. What are you trying to tell me? Unima yedin. And I say, oh yeah, make me show anybody that want to come on. You call me, so come on show and debate. I will accommodate you. Unima yedin, don't take people's this and represent because you want to defend one pastor or Dr. Optabel over the other. Just be authentic in what you are presenting. Don't tell me because it's not written in the Old Testament we shouldn't do it. And yet the thing is written in the Old New Testament. And yes, I'm going to try New Testament. I'm going to another American accounting says, I'm going to try New Testament. I'm going to but when you read the book of Exodus, then Yakopa Mamra, and our catcher Moses said, for this shall be observed for all generations. All generations of Bofunu when he gave the law on holy water and incense, also it shall be observed by all generations or for generations to come. Bofunu, you see generations out here says. So do not allow people to indoctrinate you. At the same time, to be careful that you don't fall victim to the deceptions of the evil kingdom. Because they are taking advantage of some of these things in the Bible and then misrepresenting. Because they are men of God who are night by fetish and then day by priest. I know. There are a lot of, when we were growing up, there were a lot of magicians. I you remember, at Tuesday market. And when I go to Tuesday market, there were a lot of magicians. They are all now pastors. So those things are there. We know. But my argument is that do not blatantly, bracket all of them together. Do not do that. Because when you do that, you are misrepresenting the word and you are indoctrinating people into falsehood. Say unima unime so be no yeah any spiritual act name free nyame me say we free nyame, because I've taken my time to study under credible, able people who understood the Old Testament. I remember one of my teachers, Pastor Adome, so rest in peace. One another pastor is named Pastor Smile. He was at Mugwa. We were sitting one day, after prayers, Wednesday prayers, so we were sitting under the shed, and I was conversing with Pastor Ado and said, "Hey, Rana, you have seen that Pastor Smile has gone to the house of a Malam." Then you know what Pastor Ado told me? He said, he said he told me in Ghana when he translated into, I say, hey, no say Pastor Smile wako Malam ifi, and I say, "Ahono enye yen nyamema enye yakwan no." So be careful. Are you telling me this man upon all teaching me all this oil thing? If you believe it, he told me no, that side. Then you told me that you want nyame. They look the same, but they are different. So I should be careful, because one you're careful now. So what's on kind of why you will not? No cause now you're so kind of what you say the same thing, but difference. But that not to say you put all of them together too. Difference womb. You were divine spirituality, and you were adulterated spirituality by the kingdom of hell. Excuse me, now all these words I'm using are just terminologies that we use to describe the good, the bad, and the ugly. What can I say? But it's just the right energy and then the left hand energy. That's all. You understand? So there is that divine spirituality, and then there's this corrupt, adulterated, subverted practice into almost CBBA. So when a divine spirituality is using the pentagram in an upright way, the subverted one is using it in an invented way. The main change the anchor, and you can be an also demonic, and then you can be an also and holy and divine. You need somebody who understands to teach you. Even nomes, so we can hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Make kind. There's a normal can or conference on my pardon him or tell repeats that nomen Ram says is not coming from God, because God hardly use even nomes. You can say my country. Do you know that God hardly use even nomes? God only always uses even number plus one. That's odd numbers, even number plus one. So 4, 6, all those in divinity always uses even numbers plus one. So all numbers, so it's normally 7, 21, and all those things. When you use 9, it's 3, 3, 3, 3. But when you want to divide 9 into 2, you are going to have 4.5. So 8 extra 1. If a man can't intimate you na obi your prayer or in Bible no obi no bobo even or first that's maybe it's a mistake, man. Or but when say no always born even now, so no. Watch this man well. Well, the divine essence does not use it uses only even numbers for certain. Even numbers are used in the divine spirituality for specific projects. So what Jesus Christ, he used 12 disciples. 1 plus 2 is 3. It's even number. He started his ministry at the age of 12 years. 1 plus 2 is 3. Even number. Odd number. He started his ministry at the age of 30 years. 3 plus 0 is 3. Odd number. And he used 3 years as his mission. It's odd number. He died and resurrected on the 3rd day. Odd number. God used 7 days in the world's grace is an odd number. As you go around the wall of Jericho 7 times, odd number. So there are codes in it. So you just don't wake up and blatantly just make some argument based on theological and doctrinal principles and ideas. Oh, what have money we are now? Una nyama mo sua. Kana won kan kire wo. Because some person onene be ba ko. Omo sua there because no man can get to the level that he is without proper knowledge. Unimade we sua there but enye bibia na oka. I was listening to him and then he was talking about diet. I say, maybe what people on can because or can congregation be in a different light, so he doesn't teach it. Or because as you have to think that he's an intelligent person. He is a highly learned man. But the difference between those who are learned who want to teach it and those who are learned who doesn't want to talk it, not because they don't want to teach it, but because maybe people will see them in a bad light. And how did the bad light came about? The bad light came about as a result of their own creation of what they have said. You understand? But these people are enlightened people. These people know something. Listen, you cannot keep a congregation of 2,000 people without any secret knowledge. Oh boy, 2,000 souls, and yes, virtual souls. 2,000 souls, you keep them under your umbrella without secret knowledge. Join to me. You think it's easy? You think it's easy to get 2,000 under your umbrella without secret knowledge? Unto me, there's something that will make you superior. That your presence always will be dominating them. I'm not talking in reference to a specific pastor. I am telling about spirituality. Or 2,000 members, 5,000 members, 6,000 members, or branches all over the world. And that sang one and I won't read about to me. Say a downside to me, I didn't want to read about to me. There are things in things. That's why even in theology now, Pastor Gideon come on. We have two types of theology. Google it and see. You have esoteric theology and you have esoteric theology. If anybody can Google it for me. You have two types of theology. You have esoteric theology, EXOTERIC, esoteric. And then we have esoteric. Oh, my phone is off. We have esoteric theology, and then we have esoteric theology. Theology, you have one for the congregation. They are all kind of a congregational teaching. They are all kind of esoteric. What about the esoteric theology? Have you seen esoteric? EXO, X for xylophone. TERIC. Have you seen it? Ezo and Eso. Now that phone is off. So my brothers, don't let them deceive you. We know what you know, and we know what you understand. Have you seen it? So you have seen esoteric theology. It says that encompasses mystical and occult interpretations of religious teachings. This is esoteric. This is the esoteric. It says that esoteric comprises of mystical or occult interpretations of religious teachings, often involving secret tradition and practices distinct from the mainstream religious doctrines. This is theology. Who call Bible school? Do they show you esoteric theology? Maybe probably this is the first time you're hearing that there's an esoteric theology. My father taught me this thing when I first graduated from tertiary institution. On my first day to go to national service, and this was son, let me tell you something. The Bible school, this Bible thing, you went to Bible school and all those things. What they taught you at the Bible school is not what you need, my son. I'll tell you the truth. But in theology, you have two types of theology. They would never mention it to you. You have the esoteric theology, and then we have the esoteric theology. And they say one is meant for congregational preaching. You say it to the congregation so that you can always control them. And now one is meant for secret teachings, and it is shared among only pastors. And he said, now you are old, you have finished tertiary institution. I should let you know because all your life I've known you've been in the charismatic, and I cannot watch you for them to continue the same. You have to know the difference. That was the first time my father told me when I was going on the national service. He mentioned the esoteric theology and then the esoteric theology. When you read down here, it says that esoteric theology often involves hidden or inner knowledge passed down through initiation or special study rather than open accessibility. Sorry them, Pastor Gideon. I'm mentioning Mobin in the Mufamano, and no sorry them. So don't come and tell us enticing words of man's wisdom. That is esoteric. 2 Corinthians, I say, for we preach not the enticing words of man's wisdom, for we preach the power of Christ unto salvation. It's a mystical knowledge. So anybody can Google esoteric theology, and then we have esoteric. Let me see. What is this? And he said esoteric theology, in contrast to esoteric theology, focuses on publicly accessible and outwardly expressed aspect of religious doctrine, practice, and thought, dogmas, often shared within religious communities. This is esoteric. It is meant for public consumption. And in the esoteric. I'll take time and then we'll go into this theology thing. I hope they will not come after my head. We know what you are saying. Because we have taken our time to study. And yet just book reading. And you are blessed to have fathers who lived who worked and studied under the early Christians when the church came to Africa. How many of you know that there is what you call esoteric theology and esoteric? So when you be pastor question, so go to your pastor and ask him, why is it that theology say and when I sit and I tell you theology was created by man to control man. So on my elite for no my year, on theology and on my theology and general public consumption. Now, this is what it calls esoteric theology. I shouldn't go there. It's not me, it's Google. We can check. Now let me go. They say that esoteric path, esoteric, that means the EX for xylophone. Esoteric path represents the more conventional approach to religion involving ongoing participation in the practice and activities of an established religious communities. Example, the church, the mosque, the synagogue, and the temples. Alternative to esoteric, which is esoteric path, trends to be more individualistic and mystical in orientation. I don't think they are ready for what we know. No, I don't think. Tina mutia so da mamo bompa ya mo hwe no. Mbesua de so mpesa mbesua de. No kofi. Me catch mo ene. Asante me catch me catch mo play enye playing fan. And there's other saka say me catch play enye playing fan. Now Ocean was there to not take you anywhere. I have a lot of friends pastors. And we're not saying this thing because you are against the church. That is not it. We are saying this thing because we are for Christ, because Christ is not for esoteric teachings. He came to teach the esoteric knowledge. Because when Jesus manifested and Christ manifested through Jesus, the synagogues and the scribes and the Pharisees were teaching esoteric, controlling the minds of the people through indoctrinations and open accessible doctrines. And they've kept the esoteric knowledge from the people, and they only use it among themselves to be lords over the congregation. So when Jesus Christ came through the Spirit of Christ that dwells in him and started revealing the esoteric knowledge, he became enemy to the church leaders. The man became an enemy to the church leaders because he began to teach esoteric knowledge. All these people, you see them, they don't tell you the esoteric knowledge. Any man of God who wants to tell you esoteric knowledge should be able to tell you in the form that there is a way you can invoke an angel. If he cannot tell you that in public and cannot show you how to do it, he is hiding the truth from you, or he doesn't know it. And I am telling you, they know. If not all of them, most of them know. Why should you be a Christian under the influence and the power of the divine spiritual energy and intelligence, and you go to all these familiar fallen spirits for liberation? You come back to that and sit inside. There's something wrong with the church. There's something wrong with the church. Do you know the amount of mystical energies and entities that come to aid the church? You are ignoring what's around much. What born nights are when you're BP? What's your time? Now the back on no born out done. I was share the link. Share the link. No, say on yes cafe on no more. What ton? Just by heart. Because you are ignorant. Mo and a mon penocre. Nipa penocre. Nipa penocre. I'm telling you. A dear man who said Nipa penocre. Pardon? Why?
Like black.
Yeah, I don't want to be racial. Nipa penocre. Nipa shop found it, but are there man found there? Well, probably it's not their fault because they have been indoctrinated and they've put fear into them, and so they kind of frown on such knowledge because they use experimental psychology to control the way they think and act. Yeah, are you understanding? Because probably from their childhood they have been indoctrinated from their childhood. Because we all were indoctrinated. Something certain question. Ubisa said, "Why na nyankopo mami so babodam? Why na wo nyame o so babodam?" Don't ask pertinent and relevant questions. You go mad. So the doctrine starts from the very fundamental level, from the very childhood, and you grow in that doctrine. So anytime you see something which is opposing to what you have been programmed over the years, then you become to resist automatically. We call it auto rejection. You automatically reject it. Okay. What's it? When you can't decide, you can't money for going to kind of machine movie or something. First, not me person maker because not me person master number who say me yes I am. Be see them maker. When you can't do the machine movie or something buy. Oh my yes, I want to me. Sure. When you do something for the half person. Ask us, how many of you talk about the Kabbalah? The mystical teachings of the Jewish tradition. It's the last stage you learn in the Jewish tradition. Jesus Christ studied Kabbalah. That means in a Nigerian movie, I don't know whether by virtue of ignorance, they say Pastor Bill use evil spirit. This slogan say Kabbalah, not the invoking demon. No, Kabbalah, not the. I said, look at what this ignorance. You understand? What gross ignorance. The Kabbalah is the mystic teachings, which is an oral tradition. It was orally transmitted. So, with the 12 years you learn the Torah, then you learn the Mishnah, you learn the Zohar, and then when you mature, before you get to 30 years, they teach you, they initiate you into the inner circle of the Jewish tradition, and then they teach you the Kabbalah. At the age of 30 years, you graduate to the Kabbalah, become a master or a rabbi or a rabbinate. And that's what Jesus Christ was, a rabboni of rabbinate. Open your eyes. The world has been deceived for far too long. Shine your eyes. Romans also call Nomoko create your own Kabbalah, and then they mix it with paganism. And I'm going Q instead of K. Oh, what a world we live in. Me back home, Grace. Like I say, when hello Billy Keys. Grace, greetings to you. Wherever she is, extend my love and my gratitude to her. She's a wonderful woman. I admire her so much for her fearless spirit in saying things which under normal circumstance cannot be said. So there are a lot of things you have to wake up from your slumber. Religion is designed to take away your humanness. Give you theology, they give you esoteric theology, they tell you all these things, then they use it to program you, and you become a slave to the pastor, and the pastor becomes a slave to the system. You think your pastor is free, your pastor is not free. You are their slave, and they are the slave, so they enslave you to carry you as a slave master to the slave king. Oh, what a beautiful world this elite have created, and it's so amazing to have your liberation still within the matrix, but you are not being controlled by the matrix. It's a beautiful thing to experience, and you just look around and you see no, that's a crazy world. It's very crazy. That's what Jesus said. You are in the world, but not of the world. Do not allow the metrics of the world to control. Create your own world under this world. Still in this world, but you are in the world. You are not of their world. And now I can't say, Master, yes, Christ, Master, a couple and kasa. Jesus was a couple. The one was a champion because he studied under different religions. 18 silent years. Mr. Pastor Gideon said Jesus no way. What does he know about 18 silent years of Jesus Christ? There's something called the mystical life of Jesus. 18 years, they'll be it's all there, it is recorded. The Bible talk about age 1 to 8. How can you talk about the day the man was born, but you cannot tell us the date that he was born? Meanwhile, you know the day that Herod died. And Herod lived in the era, Jesus was born in the era of Herod. And when he was born, Herod knew he was born because the wise men came, the Magi's came to Herod, the astrologers came to Herod. So they knew exactly when Herod existed, around the time Jesus, why can't they give us the birth date of Jesus Christ? Why can't they give us the birthday of Jesus Christ? You know the birth date of Herod. You know when King Herod died in the Roman Empire, there's total record of King Herod. And you are telling me you don't know the man's date. Don't be a hypocrite and a sycophant. It's either you are for the truth or you are for the lie. It's either you are for God or you are for the devil. So tell Pastor Gideon that he's either advocating for the devil ignorantly or he's advocating for something he doesn't know. The man lived in an era. Pythagoras came 200 and something years before Jesus came. You know Pythagoras' date of birth. Archimedes came 500 something before Jesus. You know Archimedes' date of birth. And you are telling me you don't know Jesus' date of birth. What are you telling me? Rebecca Nassem, you say these things to the Marines, not me. You say these things to the sleeping and stumbling mind. A mind that is stumbling. What are you saying? Are you telling me Jesus is in the picture? Are you telling me Abraham himself Jesus or a black man? No, are you telling me say Abraham himself Jesus or a black man? Are you telling me Abraham himself Solomon a black? Omo himself David a black? Omo himself Abraham a black? So tell Pastor Gideon should spare us his ignorance. Ye nim de ye nim kakra. Are they telling him they didn't know that? Assuming historical antecedents, no? Records. They didn't know Jesus was a black man. They didn't know that Jews are black people. That there was no white colored Jew. There's no light skinned Jew. The Jews were pure black. And even up to today you go to Israel, the indigenous Jew land, they are blacks. Speak Twi, Gan, Ewe, and all those things. Into Munkatan says, or Yen said, or Car Bachelor, on can who say, as so soon ye. And Manon Bekan Yama, Obunatural, or doctrinal gospel, so no much of person, a sorry no religion, the modern religion in the New Testament, a man Bekan Pentre. But the New Testament has a foundation, and the foundation of the New Testament is the Old Testament. And that is why when Paul, even his master, the Pauline gospel, his master Paul, Apostle Pastor Gideon, his master probably is Paul, but his master is not Christ from the way he speaks. Oh, Master Paul, the New Testament, no Master Paul, no. Or no, don't you know it is written in the Old Testament? In the book of Old, he refers the book of Old, that it is written there. So they all studied it. How can you build a house without the foundation? You're a joke. One day, I'll make a video on the stolen identity of Jesus. The stolen identity. I had a whole research on him. Where they are just spirituality to make and records. Edited records, the way spiritual edited record, the stolen identity of Jesus. Now me are in the my inner experience with Christ. At the account, the man was pure dark-skinned man. Buddha no crown more dignity, but Buddha was a black man. The first Buddha was a black man. That's why they broke his nose. Who told the Buddha was an Indian? He was a black man. The first enlightened Buddha was a black man. What are they telling? When you go to the Egypt pyramid, don't you know all the pharaohs, they've broken their noses? But the real Egyptians, they are not white. These Egyptians, see, they are Caucasian blacks. They are Caucasian bloodline. The real Egyptians, the Nubians, they are blacks. Why is it that the mummies, they've broken all their noses? Because they don't want to say they had flat nose. So don't speak out of ignorance and propel ignorance as truth. Go back. So you don't be a whitewash, brainwash person. Do you know what is in the system? You don't understand. Abrabona ebom onti as abrabona start yache. Na inkofobi I intercepted the whole process. No more recreate. You are say a synthetic word. Anything the reggae musician, what's his name? Nobody no call War Front and Komunkunu. It's American reggae musician. Yeah, it's one of the pronounced reggae musicians who are alive. Jimmy Cliff. He played a sort of synthetic word. They've created an artificial word for you. And now they are reflected as artificial intelligence. Should time at Jimmy Cliff the synthetic word. Listen to the words of the synthetic word. Sa album no could words no. The lyrics of the song. The track, synthetic word. Short time and Jimmy Cross tools are word, no, ne? You catch your synthetic means artificial, and then the artificial intelligence about. Krobi war Ghana, your friend Kanjebi. Okan now I then now I JB. Your friend Kanjebi. So you better now I then yeah JB. You be see here. I want to thank you all for your time. Sorry today I'm a little bit, I'm not that type, so but this really interests me, so that's how to talk about it, so that at least you know what is going on. All this theology you are following, it's not what you are supposed to know. They give you this surface, the unnecessary ones to control the way you think. Now I'll give you what theology is, then the two divisions of theology. Go and research into it yourself, the esoteric theology and the esoteric theology, and then let's come back and talk business. So please, I want to thank all of you. In the next streaming, we'll continue with the two other cardinal points, which is the East and the West, and then fundamentally we close down on it, and then we go much more deeper into it. And going forward, we'll be learning a whole lot of things to practically enable that. But I will always encourage each and everybody that try and participate in our end of month 3-day fast, spiritual fast, and meditation exercise. Then this month's on, I'll look at the time early and then update you as early as possible. Abraham, please remind me, God willing, tomorrow, so that I'll look at it. I'll make it. I'll consider the time and then put out the dates, and then I will prepare towards it. I just want to thank every one of you. God bless you for your time, and I know that in due course you also come to the realization of the truth, and you can now go inside and then authenticate everything you are told for yourself. Okay, not you do it by hearsay, missing this is a doctor is saying this is saying this is saying. No, 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 no. You should be able to authenticate things for yourself, and that is true maturity, and that is true growth. God bless you. Stay blessed. To meet the next time. Bye bye for now.